Well, I'm all grumpy because this weekend, a massive storm came through the Lake District where we live, and all our weekend riding plans got completely scuppered. Now, if I was a coach and this happened to my athlete, I would now be having to rewrite their training program, put them back on track again. Or if I was an athlete following a training program, I'd be looking at that going, well, I missed that workout. Like, should I go back and revisit that workout that I haven't done? Or should I do the one on today's program and the questions and anxiety? With XERT, we can just start adjusting that ourselves and start rebuilding our training program and get ourselves back on track, which is what we're going to talk about today. And we're also going to talk about how, now that the sun is out again, we can start doing some of those workouts outside. Okay, let's get stuck in. Now, this is the planner, and you can see that I've been doing some work on it already. Now, you might remember from the last episode, on Saturday, I had this club ride in there. Yep, that got cancelled. But I hadn't done anything on Friday, thinking that I'd be going out and doing like a good 2.5, 3 hour ride on Saturday. What actually happened is that we invited the club into our building here, and we ran like a maintenance workshop. So I was inside most of the day, didn't really get much done, but still quite mentally drained from teaching all day. And then we did a barbell workshop. It's actually 4 hours worth of like technique coaching, which was like super cool. Learned so much and really did some really good, cool stuff. I only did about 45 minutes worth of actual activity, but there's an awful lot of time under tension, of extended mobility work. I feel quite tired today, not because of how much lifting I've done, but just the mobility and the range of movement that I've experienced. So I'm going to adjust my fitness slider, my freshness slider, sorry, to account for just feeling stiff and sore, which is incredible. When you work on your technique and your mobility, you can really start feeling sore, even though you haven't done much work at all. Anyway, digress. So that's left in there. Now, building out my week ahead then, we have this. So these red section ones here are the map deck sessions. If you go into sessions, find us, join us, get involved. We just all work out together. So these are pretty much set. You know, these are workouts that I've gone, no, this is what we're doing as part of the community. And XERT, you're just gonna have to work out your training program around that. I'm doing that whether you like it or not. So I normally try and make it relevant to me and as many people as possible, because I think it's really important that we train together, learn together, and it's a big part of like turbo training. It's a whole lot more fun than just slogging it out on your own. Now, I've also walked to work today as a great recovery from all that strength training, and I've logged that in there as well. Now, just to flick into that walk, 58-minute walk. I didn't have my heart rate monitor on, but I knew it was a good brisk walk that probably put me at LTP of like 60% or something, and I've given this 30 points of XSS. Now, if I was out riding at zone 2 endurance type pace, I'll be looking at like 45 to 50. This is a good brisk walk, so I think 30 points is actually on the conservative side. I'd love to be able to change this to walk, but can't. It just default back regardless of having that in there. But the important thing is it does log the hours, and it actually accumulates the training effect of those hours. Now, tomorrow is the day that I normally do strength training. I'll do that in the morning, and then I'll try and get this ride in the afternoon. Now, I've just clicked this little icon here that we told you about in the last video, and it's given me this ride called Can't Stop. And I want to do this outside if I can. So I'm going to go for a ride, and I just want to see if I can hit the workout parameters of this workout, but doing it outside. Headline numbers here, 60-minute duration, fine, great for a lunchtime, evening spin, 60 points of XSS, focus is prosciutto. Let's open the workout and see what we can figure out. Now, you can actually, if you've got a Garmin or one of the Android Cruise type things, you can actually get the workout up on your heads-up display and try and do the workout outside. I'll say that even if you've got a cycling track and the flattest bit of road, it's not saying that it's impossible. I just say that it's not fun. So trying to do a workout to the letter outdoors, it kind of spoils the ride a little bit. Whereas actually, it doesn't matter too much. You can chill out a bit, and so long as you hit the headline purpose of the workout, you'll get a similar training effect, really. So what are the headline purposes? Now, with XERT, you get this focus, 3-minute prosciutto. So it's going to want me to put some effort in of that sort of intensity. Specificity is mixed, and the rating is 2-star moderate. That's probably gives you the headline intensity of the entire ride, if you like. How hard a ride is this going to be? Moderate. Now, the other thing I like to look at is the total XSS points and the kilojoules. Now, if you have a Garmin, you can get the XERT app for it, which will tell you your XSS, and you can just watch that number tick up as you go. If you haven't got that and you've got like a Wahoo or something, you can just use TSS. They're similar enough that it won't make too much difference. The other thing you can do if you've got a power meter is have the kilojoule data field up on your Garmin, and you get a good idea of the actual energy used in that workout. And this is a good way of looking at it as well. Then after that, in this case, it's a really, really simple workout to try and do outside, because it's either going really, really slowly or I'm doing some sprints. The sprints are 20 seconds long, hitting power targets of 452 watts for 20 seconds. The first four are grouped together in a way that MPA is not allowed to fully recover. And the second set of three is spaced far enough apart that MPA is allowed to fully recover before we go again. So I can do this actually outside pretty easily. And these 20 seconds can be done pulling away from traffic lights, pulling over a small hill or a rise, overtaking someone, doing my turn at the front of a group, whatever it is. It's a fairly easy ride to get done. And as long as you're meeting those workout targets, absolutely no problem. Okay, let's flick back to the planner and let's have a quick look at this ride on Saturday. Now this is going to be my club ride essentially, but it's given me some parameters. Now when you look at these endurance rides, they can look really complicated, but in actual fact, they're kind of written to replicate what you're pretty much going to do outside. So focus, 13-minute climber. So these blocks here are doing a decent amount of duration before we take a small rest. And the way to think about this is during these sets, really try and be in the cycling position, head in cycling, and then use these rests as the time where you might put your foot down, have a little stretch out, take a bar, a drink, whatever. But while you're through these sets, try and be like, no, I'm in the zone, I'm in the group, I'm doing my thing. And the little sprints here, they're not hard really, and they don't really need to worry about them too much, because you'll do this naturally when you're riding outside anyway. You you'll pull to the front, you'll pull away from some traffic lights, you'll turn corners, change gears, that sort of thing. So you'll probably be having these little power spikes in a ride like this anyway. And all you need to really focus on then is the XSS of 209, the work of 1,538 kilojoules. They're the two things that you really need to be thinking about, keeping the overall intensity and the overall duration on point. That's the important thing. So it's looking for 3 hours duration, work of 1,538. As long as you're doing that, then you're about right, and you've got that heads-up display constantly telling you where it should be. Okay, there we go. So have a play with this, build out your week. You'll also see in here that I've put in my barbell strength. Remember, I've got that built as a favorite here. I just drag that in. Strength training is super important to me right now. So if you've seen my other YouTube video about how I'm working on my strength to try and improve an awful lot of parts of my fitness, add that in. Wednesday is big, long, hour-long walk into work as well. Definitely worth logging. I've got my yoga in there as well. I'll talk about that another time. If anything, this is just about keeping a track of the hours and when I do things rather than actual login XSS. And you can see all of this is putting me on a red star for Sunday. And it's really hard to see, but I promise you, if you look really closely, you can just start seeing that we're making progress, because that second star is just about starting to light up as we increase our volume through the week. Okay, that's how we can get yourself back on track with a little bit of planning. Hope that was dead useful. So many of your questions are coming in. I think the next one, I'm going to be brave. I'm going to attempt to answer your questions about how you integrate strength training into this planner. Let's see how that goes. All right, see you online tonight in about an hour's time. Take it easy.